against Turkey. It's Turkey against Saudi Arabia. And I think we have Barcelona and Manchester United.
Yeah, so we're going to see a two-team clash. We're going to see a clash of styles. We're going to see a clash of play styles, most definitely. But more importantly, a clash between two teams. FC Barcelona, as we have spoken, almost as it is quoted to me as I walk around the venue of our shouts of Lewandowski. You will hear Ferran Torres. You will hear the likes of Ousmane Dembele. On Man United side, you will hear the likes of Rafael Varane. You will hear Marcus Rashford. You will hear Cristiano Ronaldo. Those are the types of players that are here today. Not to mention, of course, if you are, this is your first time ever watching on IESF/TV underscore TV number 3, as we are on the third channel. I will eventually get there, ladies and gentlemen. If it's your first time here, we are under uniform stats. And of course, if you are about in the chat, let us know. We are following at will. We've got Cool Awick that is in the chat. Chev7 is in the chat. Cobra 21 Jew is in the chat. There's a lot of support for Saudi Arabia in the chat, which, again, it shows you the popularity of the sport there. Of course, Mid Nasser, the Saudi Arabian coach, incredibly popular streamer within Germany, but also worldwide. And it's that worldwide appeal that you're really seeing from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and also a great coach. I've seen him talking with his player. He takes this very seriously, very seriously. All of the players I've been talking to, they don't stay out at late hours. They are very focused. We are here at Paradise, but they are really concentrated on winning this tournament.
Well, you talk about players who want to stay on job. They want to stay exactly on job here. And, of course, it will be, I believe it will be Saudi Arabia from left to right in the Barcelona strip. It will be Turkey from right to left. And as you can see, Fred and Neil, as you can see, Turkey, again, if you are just trying to join us in terms of colours, Turkey are playing in white. And Barcelona are playing in blue as Depay. Lewandowski looking to get through to Anzebe. It's cleared away here. Here's Fred to Marcus Rashford. Nice little double touch around the corner. Finds Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes finds a man out wide. It's Anthony. Anthony looking to try and dribble in field. It's taken away by Frankie de Jong, and Pedri will recycle the ball. Here's Frank Kessie. The legs of the defender. Here's Memphis Depay. Depay. It's good little give and goes here. Here's Pedri. Lewandowski almost gets in the way there, but it will be cleared away by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A little bit unfortunate for Saudi Arabia. Players are looking to get involved a little bit too quickly for their liking, but Christensen has recovered the ball. Here's Pedri. Up towards Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres into Memphis Depay. Back towards Ferran Torres. Torres with the dummy. Good save. Forced by the goalkeeper. Early start for Saudi Arabia. Positive signs.
Yes, positive signs, because when he was able to grab the ball, he quickly turned that into an attack situation. It didn't go in well, but it ended as a corner kick. And now here we are again.
Corner in, and it's De Gea that will easily deal with this. And of course, you know, we talk about Saudi Arabia, we talk about Turkey in terms of these nations. Saudi Arabia, again, in terms of GOAT's abilities here, has showcased that he's one of the very best in the region. And again, almost a region that's slightly overlooked, as we see Marcus Rashford trying to make his way into the box here. Rashford takes a dummy, plays it back to McNeil. McNeil, double touch, tries to take the curved shot. It's Fernandes with a header. It's off the post.
Whoa.
And it's just wide of the post, off that post.
The goalkeeper was taking a nap.
Very much so. And again, you can just see it's these little pits of space and deflections that these guys will cause. And again, if you see a deflection within your football, it's very hard to try and defend it, and as such it kind of creates that little bit of panic, but
because it's unpredictable.
Exactly, and it is that unpredictable nature that you have to be careful of within e-football. Here is Bruno Fernandes back towards Casemiro to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka dispossessed by Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong to Ferran Torres. Torres to Lewandowski, just takes the extra touch too quickly, and the ball is played back to David De Gea. As Axel Tuanzebe leads the line and takes it away for Turkey. Turkey looking still for options and abilities to just showcase themselves here. Here's Bruno Fernandes to McNeil, in towards Marcus Rashford, back to McNeil. Dispossessed by Andreas Christensen.
I will use a word that I don't know if I'm using it correctly. Turkey game is a tidy game.
It's tidy, it's clean, it's without fault. The issue, of course.
But it's also not very dangerous, at least for now.
At least for now. We saw them creep up on Brazil when we saw them on stream. It took long and it took a while to get that game going. I think sometimes with our players that we see here, it takes them 90 virtual minutes to kind of take a bit of an idea of what these players are about as we see the ball go through to De Gea. It's almost like they need that download of data to just mentally say, right, this is where my opponent likes to attack, this is where he likes to defend, what can I do differently?
And some players go straight away to try to score a goal.
They
Other ones
do.
try to get the perfect play.
They certainly do, but it's just delicately poised. These two players will know each other very well. Bruno Fernandes to McNeil. McNeil rolling it into the box, but Christensen again there with the block again. It's almost a masterful block. If you can jockey and you can position your player within the pass, they will make a very good interception. But both of these players will know that very well as the ball goes through to Ferran Torres. Torres in towards Pedri. Pedri with a spin move in towards Lewandowski. Lewandowski with the turn, and it's just wide. Little bit of danger creeping in. You can see Saudi Arabia getting that bit more comfortable. A little bit more comfortable. You can see and takes the dummy away and just doesn't quite get the right angle as we've seen before.
He's the one with the responsibility. I don't know why, because both need to win, but he's the one like giving a little bit of a better show to us.
He's very much leading the dance here. Here is Ferran Torres. Torres looking to do a stunning cross into the box. It's cleared away by Tuanzebe. Challenge in the air, and it is won down to Memphis Depay. Depay to Frankie de Jong, to Pedri. Ferran Torres. We've seen him be electric in this tournament so far. It's Memphis Depay. The Dutchman lines up a shot, and it makes a brilliant save from David De Gea.
You know, he took a little bit too much time, and that was what let the goalkeeper guess where the ball was going. I think it was the most clear opportunity we had, and it was on the feet of the Saudi Arabian player.
And ball goes in, it is cleared away, only as far away as Frank Kessie as he gets the ball away to Marcos Alonso. Anthony dispossesses the Barcelona defender, and now there is a counter-attack on. Is Bruno Fernandes to McNeil. He has Rashford in the centre, but it's great defending again from Saudi Arabia. If this is the level that we are expecting, I really wish we'd have seen more of him during this tournament.
Yes, of course, but you know, this is the way tournaments go. You have to start selecting the best players, and that selection is kind of a natural selection because it's done by the results itself.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see, McNeil in towards Anthony, looking for the little give and go. It's a dummy run, but he's looking for Marcus Rashford. Rashford to Fred. Fred back to Marcus Rashford. Rashford takes a neat step, gets through the defender. Looks to again just double touch and dummy and super cancel. You'll see all of those in combination here. Here's Fred, and it's cleared away by Christensen. This game's still waiting for its first goal. It is relatively cagey, but there are chances to have chances, which is one of my favourite expressions when we see games of eFootball, is that there are moments where if you make the right pass, you'll have a better opportunity. As we see Bruno Fernandes. Great steal by Turkey in midfield. Anthony to Bruno Fernandes. And again, it's looking for the through ball, but Marcos Alonso and those experienced feet of his will take that ball away.
The defender guessed that that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Sometimes it needs to be that unpredictability. Where is that X factor if you are Turkey? Where is the X factor if you are playing as Saudi Arabia or you are representing Saudi Arabia? You need that additional level of something that these guys haven't seen, as Frankie de Jong looks to try and play the ball in towards Ferran Torres. The ball is Marshall clear as Anthony plays it to Bruno Fernandes. Onside is McNeil in the centre. It's McNeil, and it's blocked away. And in the distance, I can hear our audience who are live here. Such is the volume. You can hear it from where we're broadcasting.
Because, you know, when he made that micro pause, all of us knew that he was losing the ball.
Yeah, and it was a big chance on as well. And interestingly, of course, Mukhi, I don't believe I have seen Cristiano Ronaldo in the starting lineup, so it's an interesting little battle in itself. Is you know, you take away your most potent front man to try and almost unsettle your opponent. It's a very interesting strategy. Again, especially these players will have looked at these players at a very, very granular level.
Him fresh for the second half.
And that becomes its own little battle. You will have a fresh, potentially Cristiano Ronaldo coming on, but it may not even be required as Frankie de Jong snuffs out that free kick. Here's Pedri as you see the wave of Barcelona players moving forward. Here's Pedri to Frankie de Jong. De Jong has Lewandowski, but he's got Depay there. Give and go may be on, or is Depay going to do something special? He gets caught in possession by Axel Tuanzebe.
So we're seeing Barcelona making the calls, Barcelona controlling the game, but don't forget that in front of him we have the Turkey player.
Indeed, ball looking to be dangerous every time it goes through. As you mentioned before about the types of games you'll see within eFootball, you can either have midfield battles or you can have battles within each penalty box, and that kind of feels like that's what's happening here, is that both teams are able to bypass each other's midfield, and it's when it gets to almost the business end of each side of the field, that's where this game is now going to be won and lost. As Anthony wins the header, it's cleared away by a Barcelona defender. Is Kessie. Moves forward to Memphis Depay. Lewandowski back towards Depay. He's taking it under control. Defensive push from Turkey, but that won't mind to Robert Lewandowski as he tries to get the ball into Ferran Torres, and it's cleared away once more. Is Jules Koundé in towards Frank Kessie. Kessie is dispossessed once more by Rafael Varane, and the ball is coming back the other way once more. There's Christensen, good defensive header again. Great defensive movement from Saudi Arabia, and you get to the feeling it's either going to be a moment of brilliance or a momentary lapse in judgment that may just be the difference maker here. Here is McNeil. Challenge very cheaply on the edge of the box, and we've seen these be dangerous.
I don't think it was a wise decision to have this kind of free kick given at this stage, at this time.
Exactly that, and of course you can see Pedri covering the goalkeeper's side, so in case of the goalkeeper movement, and you'll see the goalkeeper there, but beware of fixed trajectory. This will all be gamesmanship, or it might be a shot on goal. It is a shot on goal, but it hits the wall, so you'll see there where Mucha finished up. That wasn't where he was aiming at all. Here's Anthony to McNeil, in towards Bruno Fernandes, back to McNeil. McNeil looking to just hold it for Bruno Fernandes. Here's McNeil! Goal for Turkey, and they open the scoring and break the deadlock.
So it's, you know, a little unfair, but football is not built on fairness. Football is built on goals. So when you make the goals, you need to make them, well, that's when you win this game.
Give me that Spanish phrase again. The one who makes the goal.
El que hace el gol gana.
That's the one. And again, it was smart play because it's patient. It's allowing your defender to be baited. If you stand still, the first kind of instinct is to go, well, I'll go right to you and I'll try and take the ball off you. Instead, of course, the pass goes quickly and then it's a 1-2, almost like its own mini triangle.
I think this was the first time that Turkey had a clear shot to target, and it was one try, one goal.
Yep, and it's efficiency, as we say at this level. Of course, Mukahit, again, in terms of defensive kind of capabilities, as we've already alluded to, in terms of being defensively brilliant, we have to remember, of course, in the European qualifier, or the European Open for this tournament, he was only bested by Serbia in the final. So it could have easily have been, you know, Mukahit with the almost 7-day break to come into the tournament. Instead, of course, he's had to battle through here, of course, represented Galatasaray at club level, and have also in terms of defensive position, as we might need it here. As defensive accolades go, he won Defensive Player of the Year in eFootball Pro. So in terms of those capabilities, we know what he has in the locker, but it's just offside there. You can see that the game from Saudi Arabia has now become a little bit more aggressive.
Yes, and by now I think that the result may look, that is not fair, but you know, as the minutes go by, I think that Turkey will start to justify why he's winning this game.
Yeah, it's all about controlling the game at the best level. As you see, another free kick given away cheaply there. But it is all about control. It's all about, you know, exerting that control. And we saw Saudi Arabia had chances in that first half, and they found the hands of David De Gea each time. Whereas, as we saw, one chance, one goal. As free kick taken by Christian Eriksen. Oh!
Yeah.
What a goal by Christian Eriksen. The Great Dane strikes once more.
And I think it's the best free kick goal we've had since we arrived here at Bali. Long distance, good shot, over the wall. The goalie has nothing to do, just watch and be in the picture. So it's 2 for Turkey, 0 for Saudi Arabia. Look at this.
To steal a phrase from back home, that is top bins. That is the absolute top corner. You could put 3 keepers on that and they're still not getting there. It's a wonderful free kick. But to talk about the skill, we spoke about that fixed trajectory. It can trick players, especially offline. You can't see where they're aiming. So, again, it may have been a line-up there, and it's a fantastic strike, and it gives Turkey a 2-goal lead. Here is Martial, in towards Anthony.
So do you remember that some minute ago I said, as the clock goes by, Turkey will prove why he's winning? Well, this is exactly what he's doing. At the 1-0, it wasn't really fair enough. For now, I think that nobody may doubt that this is a match owned by Turkey.
It certainly is at the moment, but can Saudi Arabia respond? It's through to Memphis Depay. Goalkeeper goes down and takes the player, but takes the ball first, more importantly. Play goes on. Here is Fred out to Kesse now, who's intercepted. Memphis Depay in towards Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati looking to dig the ball to the back post. Keeper punches the ball away, and Anthony will ride this one clear again.
And this is how you punch a ball. You have to get it far from the goal.
Absolutely. You clear your lines at the best possible moment. And if you are Turkey, you have got 13 in-game minutes before you take a very valuable game 1 in this best-of-3 series. However, there is still time on the clock here, and we have seen some very special things in this tournament so far. But Rafael Varane will stop one of those happening. Here's Anthony.
So it's minute 80 in the white shirts. It's for Turkey with Manchester United. On the dark shirts is Barcelona for Saudi Arabia. We are playing to the best of 3 matches, and this part of the tournament is double knockout.
Yeah, it is double knockout. So for those keeping score at home, if and when we get to the end of best 3 and we have a winner and a loser here, the loser will go into the bracket, the first bracket in the losers bracket later on today. Here is Torre. And it's
offside.
Just given away. It's offside. And again, you can sense the urgency now from Saudi Arabia,
Yes.
but these players knowing each other so well in terms of like scrimmages, in terms of playing each other, is that a detriment to them, do you feel, in terms of knowing each other's game plan so well?
No, I think that when your opponent knows your style, what you have to do is make it flawless. You won't surprise them, but you may be able to make it flawless because you know that as he knows how do you play, he will go for that kind of play. So you have 2 options: to make a very different style or to make your style even deeper.
Absolutely. You can see bottom of your screen, all out attack and all out defense in effect. I don't think you need to tell you who is who. Is Memphis Depay in towards Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati looking to get around. It's in towards Depay! Hadaf Al Sawadiyah!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I told you I was picking up the lingo. Brilliant, brilliant strike back. It's 2-1 with not long left on the clock here. And of course, for those keeping score at home, I've reliably informed that does mean goal to Saudi Arabia in Arabic. So hello to our Arabic viewers at home. Of course,
So
there are plenty of them in the Twitch chat, which I'm sure we will get to at some point here.
Thank you very much for being there. Thank you very much for sharing this live stream. So Saudi Arabia wants to say, here I am.
It's not out of this yet, and that will be a confidence boost needed.
Whoa, whoa,
Although,
whoa, whoa.
given away, mistake. Ferran Torres. Oh, it's a great block from Harry Maguire. Turkey being very, very casual when they don't need to be.
You know, he made that mistake that we always have nightmares about every time a goalkeeper goes playing with his foot. Well, it was an awful mistake, but the attacker couldn't make use of it. So it's a chance that the Saudi Arabia player will dream tonight with it. It was close, so close. But now, and just for now, this match is 2 for Turkey, 1 for Saudi Arabia.
There's not long left here. It will be game management from here on in, but Turkey need to be very, very careful here as the time ticks by. And game 1 will go to Turkey. 2-1 in what I would say would be a very entertaining game there, as we'll look at some of the stats and potentially some of the highlights that we'll have seen there.
Yeah,
and again, we talked about in the first half, Saudi Arabia had those chances. And going by the stats that we saw and the head-to-head that we saw, it would have been a case that actually, if we go straight to the highlights here, we can see the chances that were here for Saudi Arabia. We can see the chances that they had. Most of them were hitting the goalkeepers. Really good play from Saudi Arabia in the build-up.
yes,
as you can see
but
here.
I think that the result is a fair result. Don't you think so?
Yeah, well, I think there's a touch of luck in it. I think in the sense of there were some opportunities there that had Saudi Arabia not hit the goalkeeper, they walk away with this game. Not to mention, of course, the very casual defensive play that we saw right at the end. Yeah, the very last move, it takes some luck. But this was the first attempt at the trajectory trick that we have said. So you could see that that was in play. So, again, if you're Saudi Arabia, that's going to have been almost in your mind already. You can see they recycled the chances well, tried to get the ball in, and this is where that goal came from. Little triangle pass, and boom, into the back of the net, and that was goal one.
Do you know that at the beginning of this stream, we said you have two routes. You can change entirely your game, or you can go for it deeper. So that's what Turkey did. He tried one free kick, didn't work, never mind, I will try it again. And the second time he tried it, the ball went straight to the net. So it's 2-1 for Turkey. Once again, as you said, if the last ball, the mistake by the goalkeeper ended in a draw, in a tie, in a 2-2 equalizer, nobody would say, oh, this is unfair.
Yeah, that's it. You could look at the chances that Turkey had and say, well, they were great in finishing them off in terms of the shots. As you can see, the passes as well, a lot of usage of the ball, moving backwards and forwards. I just think that there was more there for Saudi Arabia. If they finish those chances off, they are well clear here. So in game 2 now, if you are GOAT Iniesta, again, in terms of how lauded he has been over this tournament, you want him to take those opportunities. Get in early, take your goal, take a 2-goal lead, something like that. But against Mujahid, we know how defensively brilliant he is. So the issue then becomes it's how do you break open the vault with a toothpick? You know, you've got to figure out something else than what you've got at your disposal.
Yeah, so it's the first match of a best-of-3 setup. In a double knockout part of the tournament, we have the best of the best. So we are looking for the second match. If Turkey wins this second match, this bracket will be closed. This matchup, this block of 3 will be closed.
Indeed.
Remember that we still have no extra time.
We have no extra time. It is straight to penalties at 90 minutes. Again, if you are wondering about the losers or the potential losers of these best of 3s, they will go into the bottom bracket. So game 1 that you see today, if the loser goes into, when they go into the bracket, they will have the loser of Mexico versus Argentina. So that would be, again, as we're talking about glamour ties, there are no difficult games here, especially in this last day. Looking at the players that are on show, we're looking at teams here. Both are going with same teams again, so it will be Turkey, I believe, from left to right, and it will be Barcelona from right to left. So, again, if you are trying to keep score at home, this is a make or break game for Saudi Arabia in this block of 3.
Yes.
However, in the kind of picture of the tournament, they're not out of it if they lose. But that's not a mentality that any of these players will want. They'll not go into this thinking, oh, great, if I lose, awesome, I've got another game. It's like, no, that's, if anything, you want to be kind of almost, to use my UK phrase, you want to be home and hosed.
Yes,
you want to be home and done.
Yes, of course. And you know, he has a great opportunity because the Saudi Arabian player, GOAT Iniesta, needs to change his game. He needs not to expect what will happen in the match. He will have to go and grab the match by its ears and say, here I am. It was what he tried. Yes, it was. Yep. Because he was the one proposing the game. He was the one trying to make it into an interesting match for him. He couldn't get away with it. Will he be able to do?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, you're looking at the formations. They're relatively similar in terms of that almost traditional 4-3-3 that you'll see within eFootball Esports, and in terms of almost the meta of the gameplay that you'll see. Now it's just a case of who executes. That's what it is here. It's then going to be a case of what happens here. Here's Pedri to Lewandowski. As suggested, Saudi Arabia right to left. Torres looking for Pedri, and Maguire will clear that one away as Marcus Rashford takes it in towards Bruno Fernandes. Here's Fred.
And they keep the shirts.
They do indeed. They do keep the shirts for us, which always helps us and the viewers at home. But of course, if you're wondering how this game is going, you just keep your ears to the phone. There's a brilliant defensive block there.
That was a Rabona.
Well, Saudi Arabia knew that the goalkeeper was not going to get to it, so instead they've retreated the defender and have made that block. It's an unbelievable defensive block there by Saudi Arabia. Here is McNeil, though, to Anthony. The pressure will still coming. Will Mucha hit? Will he take this on, and will he go a little bit more aggressive, knowing he has a game in the back pocket? Or will he keep to that defensive shape and that defensive shell and just wear out his opponent? Because, again, it's almost you're waiting for that one little bit of focus that just makes them switch off, and that's where you can strike.
Do you know what, Wes? I come from the future, and he will be as defensive as ever, or even worse. Look at this.
Well, in terms of our roles today, I genuinely feel we swapped places. Your analysis has been pinpoint up till thus far. In terms of his Frankie De Jong, though, here's Ferran Torres.
He has no rush in having the ball back to the play.
He has not. Here's Anthony towards Araujo. Here's Pedri to De Jong. Can Saudi Arabia find a way through? They've got the ball through to Lewandowski. He's recovered it well from the byline. Shipped the ball into the box. Harry Maguire with the header clear. Here is Pedri. Can there be some moments of brilliance? Here is Pedri once more. Pedri to Kesse. Kesse looking to just make a shape, but again, it's that defensive unit. It's the midfield that comes back, and it's the defence that comes back. And having a look at the players that are in support for Manchester United, here's Anthony. It's been thefted by McNeil. Here is Anthony again, but Pedri intercepts it. It's becoming a little bit more of that midfield battle that we suggested that we might just see.
And you know,
Lewandowski called offside, though.
Turkey has 7 of its players defending, so it's very difficult to break that.
Yeah, as again, for those who are new to eFootball, one of the most kind of potent play styles is long ball counter. It instructs all of your players that when you lose the ball, they will all retreat en masse, as we see a booking here for a foul on Bruno Fernandes. They will all go back in masse. So, again, the quicker you can attack, the easier it is to actually make your way through. The issue, of course, is you're at this level, people will know how to defend very quickly. As Fred looks to get the ball into the box, it's cleared away. Here's Pedri.
But you know what? It works for him.
It does. It certainly does.
We can feel this with a lot of words and a lot of poetry. But
as we see back heel to Anthony, sorry to cut through you. But yeah, we could explain a lot about this, but the pictures on the screen do all of the justice here.
Yes,
and you know, we could sit here in silence and you would see what was happening in the game. You could make your own judgments at home.
He ends winning the games. So you can criticize him, say, "Oh, you're too defensive. Oh, you don't play nice spectacle." Well, he's here for winning, not
There's
to
ball
be
into the box. Oh, and it's a header! And it's Harry Maguire, of all people, rises at the back post. There's an inquest there, and Turkey take the lead. It was a really soft corner, but we talk about physicality being so critical in eFootball. Again, Harry Maguire is I can use the words, a big human being. Yes. He is a big human being. Yes. And when he gets up in the air, there's very few players within eFootball who will stop him as the ball goes forward. And Saudi Arabia look for an instant response. It's Memphis Depay with a pass out to Pedri. Lofted ball, and he's ran out of real space.
But as we said earlier, he didn't went for 8 touches. He didn't went for a bicycle or some flashy stuff. Just a single crossing, a single header, and off he goes. It's 1-0 in favor of Turkey. And with this result, he's taking this bracket home.
He would take this bracket home, and he would see himself through to the next round. But Saudi Arabia may have something to say about that. Here's Ferran Torres. Torres looking to jink his way into the box. He does get the ball in. It's a brilliant header! It's Memphis Depay, who is the hero for Saudi Arabia to get them back into the game.
Exactly. It was just 2 plays away from the goal. Once again, the Saudi Arabia player has good concentration.
Brilliant control just down here with Ferran Torres. We'll watch it again here. A little bit of footwork, but it's enough to just take the ball away from Turkey, get the ball into the box, and again, it's a brilliant header from Memphis Depay.
So, if you're just tuning, we are here from Bali. First match went to Turkey. This match is being tied 1-1. It's just 29 virtual minutes. We have plenty of match to go. 2 very different styles. And that's why these kind of matches are so interesting to see.
They're so evenly matched at this level. Pedri to Frankie de Jong. De Jong looking to dribble into the box. Sweet pass across, but
Offside.
unfortunately,
Offside.
just offside. But you can tell how much of a level this is. Of course, the Twitch chat that I'm seeing here, so many shouts of this is insane. It's two top level players, and we have been saying it for all of this tournament, folks. There are so many good players here at the World Esports Championships, and there are two of the most premier players that we are seeing on show right now. Ferran Torres in towards Lewandowski. Pedri to De Jong. De Jong steps away from his defender, plays the ball in. It's Memphis Depay once more! It's a complete turnaround for Saudi Arabia. Memphis Depay back at it again.
It's like, you know, when you're in an exam and you say, oh, I forgot everything, and then miraculously it comes all back and it comes all together. Well, this is what happened to the Saudi Arabia player. He was able to change the USB drive. Everything comes by once again. He's at his own game. He's winning 2-1.
Now he's got to be careful though, as we said before. He's most vulnerable, or players are most vulnerable once they have conceded. They have to stay switched on. Here is Fred looking to try and just, again, feint the defenders and just try and bait him out. But instead, it's good play from Saudi Arabia. Ferran Torres, double touch, dummy to turn himself around to try and get that pass off. But he's given the ball away here. It's Bruno Fernandes in towards Anthony. Anthony into McNeil. McNeil back to Anthony. Anthony looking back into McNeil. Cut across the box, but it's Franck Kessie that will take it away. And again, this is the tables being turned a little bit on Turkey, but they are not without threat. Here is Anthony. Looking forward to Bruno Fernandes. Marcos Alonso with a good challenge, takes the ball away. Ferran Torres has a wave of players coming forward here. Two players in support. One of them is Frankie de Jong. The other is coming back the other way. He's got Ferran Torres, then he's got Pedri. Pedri in towards Lewandowski potentially. It's a great pass, just not found the right mark. And Rafael Varane will clear it away. Only as far as Kessie though. Here's Memphis Depay on a hat-trick, don't forget. Memphis Depay looks to get the ball into the box, looks for Lewandowski. It's cleared away by Rafael Varane, only as far as Franck Kessie. Kessie to De Jong. Final minutes of the half. 2 minutes of stoppage time left here. Ferran Torres looking across the box for Lewandowski. It's cleared away again. And all of a sudden, it's like a boxer being on the ropes with Turkey at the moment. They've got to survive and take it just to 2-1. But there's one more chance here. It's Robert Lewandowski, the Polish striker supreme. Finds the goalkeeper with his shot. There is no time for the corner, but crucially, Saudi Arabia are 2 goals to 1 up.
Yes, it was a really nice chance, the last one. It would ended, or no, I don't know if ended, but put it very tough to Turkey. Turkey is still just 1 goal away from the penalty shootout. But for now, I think that the result is a good picture of what happened during the match.
Yeah, first half was a very great picture of it. Ferran Torres finds a beautiful back heel. It's Memphis Depay, and his hat-trick is complete. It's the second header for Memphis Depay, and the Dutchman has become the saviour of Saudi Arabia.
So it's 3-1. Amazing play. How he controls Memphis Depay shows that he has trained with this match. We were speaking at the start of the stream about how important coaching is in this case. We saw at the end of first match the coach looking at his phone, checking his strategies, talking again with the player, and this is what happened when you train with your club. This is what happened when you know your players. You get a hat-trick right away, so you can climb this match and say, okay, let's go to the third match. There will be no penalties. There will be no suffering. Here I am. I'm still in the game.
Sometimes having 4 eyes is better than 2 in an esports environment. Having that almost cold set of eyes to take a look at the game and say, look, this is what you needed to do better, as we see changes coming in here. Almost a crossbow formation being deployed by Manchester United and Turkey. But again, Barcelona and Saudi Arabia just staying relatively the same. They know what they have to do. But having that set of eyes is always important because, again, when you're in the heat of battle, especially in an environment like this, like, you know, it's quite apt that we say the word heat, as it is so hot here in Bali. You have to have somebody who has cool presence of mind, and that's what we're seeing here.
Exactly, you told it.
As Casemiro looks to lead us off here, and it's Ferran Torres that will find the ball through. It's Robert Lewandowski, and two players have collided, and Lewandowski was brought down, but nothing was given by the referee.
So we still have one half of this match. Remember that we're playing to the best of three. This is game number 2 between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. The first match went to Turkey. Second match is being won, as by now, by Saudi Arabia by 3-1.
And of course, looking at how Saudi Arabia have responded here, it's what we expected. We expect every time that a team or a player goes 1-0 down in a set of 3, we are expecting a response, because such is the level of the players here. They all have it within their virtual eFootball lockers.
Yes.
They have that experience to draw on. As Memphis Depay looks to get the ball once more, he has very much been the hot foot for this Brazil and Saudi Arabia side, but Anthony's made his way through here. Anthony blocked away shot, and it is a corner ball.
He was near. He tried to find the perfect moment to shoot. That perfect moment never arrived, but he went for the goal. He couldn't. He just got his corner kick. Sometimes
you have to not take the percentage shot. Sometimes you have to risk. If it's a 50% shot, if it's a 30% shot, if you're thinking of it in percentages of success rate, you've got to think of it like that, and you've got to go for it sometimes. As we see the ball going back into the box before it's cleared away. Here is Axel Tuanzebe to mop that one up. Here's Robert Lewandowski in towards Casemiro. Casemiro plays it forward. It's gone to McNeil, to Rashford. Christensen will clear these lines, and sometimes that is exactly what it calls for within esports. It's just clear your lines, get yourself set, but the ball has come back the other way once more. Is McNeil in towards Fernandes. Rashford back looking towards Bruno Fernandes. Onside, and scores!
Whoa. What will happen now, my friend?
Because that makes everything just a little bit more interesting. Turkey with some really good ball movement, opened up the space, opened up the ability, and again, it's a really good finish from Bruno Fernandes, and Turkey have themselves a lifeline.
And typical Turkish style, in this case, he didn't rush, he took his time, he made 4 passes, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 passes, and he waited for his player to have an advantage point.
Absolutely.
The minute he realized that, he went for the goal, and goal it is. It's Barcelona 3, Manchester United 2.
Absolutely. They take full advantage of every opportunity, do these types of individuals. As we see, McNeil and Kessie will intercept. They take advantage of everything. You cannot give them an absolute inch here, because again, if you lose focus for 5 seconds in a game,
yes,
by the time you've realised the ball, in your favourite term, it has kissed the back of the net.
Exactly. So right now it's just 1 goal which separates these 2 players in this match, and I think that Turkey will put the foot on the pedal on the last part.
They may just do. They may elect to push the issue. Here's Casemiro looking forward. Kessie gets the interception. Well played there. Memphis Depay in towards Robert Lewandowski, but Harry Maguire will take it away from the back line, and he will find Marcus Rashford. And he has runners in front of him if he can look to use them. He finds Bruno Fernandes. He finds McNeil, who finds Wan-Bissaka, who's up from a defensive position. But again, we have to remember Turkey have gone with this slightly more attacking lineup, and it's looking like it's a little bit too hot to handle as the ball is ricocheted away. I mean, players couldn't do anything too much there, and there's a foul not given there, and here's Fred, and it's deflected wide for a corner. There's not a lot when you have players and when you have animations that collide with one another. It's incredibly frustrating as a player, because you have done absolutely everything you can, and sometimes this type of thing happens and you don't get the result that you want, and instead Saudi Arabia are way back under pressure once more.
I think that small random part is what makes the game so fun to play.
It's chaos. It's chaos when those things happen, because again, in your mind, if you are looking to clear the ball away, you probably think, oh well, I've just cleared it. Instead, if you've got, you know, Gerard Piqué who comes back and flies into you as you're doing it, you're not anticipating that movement. So it is something to look at here, and again, interestingly, just slight movements on both sides here. Pablo Torre has come on the right hand side of your screen. Anthony Martial has come on once more. I'd be very interested to know the lack of use of Cristiano Ronaldo from Turkey. I'd be very interested to know why that isn't being used. But again, as we say, play styles and players, they they look at what suits their play style, and it may be that Ronaldo might be too slow, he might be too weak.
Yeah, but I mean, once you put it into the pitch for at least the last minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and the Twitch chat are imploring Saudi Arabia to keep on the attack here. But of course, it's great being a fan at home where you're saying, just keep attacking, just keep attacking. But in terms of that, again, Shiva, who's made that great point in the chat, just keep attacking. But you're going to leave yourself open to a little bit of trouble here as the ball goes into the box and it's cleared away. As we are keeping in touch with the Twitch chat, as we are engaged with it, I believe we're also on YouTube at PB space ESI. But if you are looking to keep it locked here, it's at twitch.tv IESF, also /IESF _ TV3 as Fred takes the ball into the box. Marcus Rashford, and that is a penalty.
Yeah.
It's a late challenge, trying to block the cross, and I can appreciate why that's gone in there, but that is a very risky strategy. Now it is going to be who to take this penalty?
Rashford.
We think it's going to be Rashford. It's Rashford against Ter Stegen. England versus Germany. Saudi Arabia against Turkey. And he's chipped it down the middle. That's confidence. There is that fine line between confidence and arrogance. And that is coolness personified.
It's like the Turkey player has nerves of steel, you know?
Yeah. He
was not shocked at all by the 3 Saudi Arabian goals. He said, okay, do I have to climb a 3-goal result? I will do it. I can do that.
Indeed. I mean, I was speaking to, we talk about superpowers and things of that nature and what makes such a great e-footballer. And we talked about, players around the kind of the event, and they were saying, Turkey, they're very cool. They don't crack under pressure. They're very cool. They're very kind of stoic. They'll keep themselves to themselves unless it absolutely needs a bit of adrenaline and a bit of emotion. They will keep themselves cool. And that's what we have seen. 3-1 down, you would have thought, it's really under pressure here, and it was. But instead now, pressure comes back the other way once more. It's Ansu Fati, neat little double touch. Dummy to stop himself. Super cancelling a beautiful ball into the box. It's cleared away. Here's Gavi looking for the hot foot of Memphis Depay. We have to remember as well, he has already scored a hat-trick in this game. The ball comes away once more. Not a lot of time left here. Is there a chance left in it for one of these two teams as Casemiro finds it into Donny van der Beek? There's Christian Eriksen. Eriksen to Rashford. Rashford to Fred. Fred down the line here. It's a good little move there. Fred again baits the defender. Double touch. Looks across the box. Araujo clears it away.
He was kicking the air, you know.
That was very much an air shot inbound. But don't forget, time is still ticking. Let's see how long's left. 4 minutes added by the referee. A little bit generous, but we'll see what can be done here. Ansu Fati, Memphis Depay tries to get the ball into the box. Harry Maguire will clear it away. Here's Kessie. Will we see some late drama here? Chance may be on here for Turkey. The kitchen sink has gone flying forward. It's Aaron Wan-Bissaka as Donny van der Beek in the box. Anthony Martial may be required, and you can almost hear the jeers from where we are watching it. As we can see, the ball goes through. And Twanzebe will recover it, and we are heading to a penalty shootout. 3-1 down. Great recovery from Turkey, but now it is the dreaded penalty shootout.
Once again, a penalty shootout on the hands of the Turkey player.
And we just saw a brief bit of the stats there, and it was not a lot in it. And as you said, this is where you're going to need that element of luck.
And
it's
he
going to
had
be Turkey.
some of it yesterday.
You can see Turkey with the first penalty. You see Ter Stegen pointing to where he thinks he's going to go. It's a save by Saudi Arabia.
Good save.
Big save. Can the advantage be pressed home? It's Ferran Torres against David De Gea, and it's a save.
2 saves in a row.
2 saves. We are back to level. As I say, that stereotypical gamer lean engaged by both players. Here's Donny van der Beek, the Dutchman. And it's off the post. And you can hear them just through the headphones. You can hear that there's so many spectators watching this in the venue. It's adding to such a spectacle, guys. Thank you so much as we see Memphis Depay, who will score first in the shootout. And it will be the cool hand of Saudi Arabia. Memphis Depay once more. He can't seem to miss the net at this point in time. Here is Anthony Martial.
So it's 1 for Saudi Arabia, 0
Big
for
penalty
Turkey.
inbound. Big penalty scored. Turkey addressed the balance. And there's potential here for Ansu Fati. Can he retake the lead for Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia looks to hit one. Down the middle. It's calm. It's cool. Very, very cool head there shown by Saudi Arabia. 2 goals to 1. Here up steps Christian Eriksen. He's chipped it down the middle and he's read it this time. You can only go to the well so many times with the chip down the middle. And Saudi Arabia held their nerve, and this, by my maths, would be a deciding penalty. It's Pablo Torre.
And why did he did that?
Who
which
absolutely
necessity?
knows as Pablo Torre. It's saved! And the pressure is back on. Turkey need to score to stay in this shootout.
Yes.
If this is not converted by Turkey and the boot of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, then we will go to a level game in game 2. Saudi Arabia against Turkey. Wan-Bissaka has gone to the well again!
And
Very good read by Saudi Arabia, and they keep themselves in the game.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
They have clearly done their homework, because Turkey, if you cast your minds back to Brazil versus Turkey, if you remember the last 2 penalties of the Turkish shootout, both were chipped down the middle.
Yes.
And it was beautifully read this time by Saudi Arabia as we go to the highlights. And I think on the balance of play, as well as Turkey did to get back into the game, I still think that, again, Saudi Arabia were the aggressors. We talk about winning fights on points. I think this was a game that, if it had gone to points from the judges, you would have said Saudi Arabia would have been worthy victors there.
Yes, and I think that he sweat in the penalty shootout, but you know what? At the end of the day, we are one game for Turkey, 1 game for Saudi Arabia. When you're shooting the penalties, you will think, oh, this is not fair, oh, this is a lottery. Now is the more fair win of your lifetime. So it's 3 points the same. Both have 1 game in their bag, and everything will be decided on the last match, on the last 1 of 3.
It's going to be nerves of steel for this game. So we see some of these shots going in, and we see the way that this ball, just watch this, takes it back inside, gives himself a little bit of space, allows the back heel, which he likes so much. And again, Memphis Depay, it's a free header.
And look at the goalkeeper. He was walking.
He was indeed.
Lousy
But you can see,
manual goal saving.
it certainly was. But you can see here as well, Turkey did well to get back into this game in terms of what we see here. It was this quick passing play. And as we say in eFootball so many times, there's only one player you can control at one time. You can see that the player selectors just go all around the screen for Saudi Arabia. They knew that there was danger, but they didn't know how to stop it. And again, it was a brilliant piece of play there. And then, of course, we look here from Marcus Rashford. You see McNeil, and you saw there that little bit of collision just forced a chance which would never have normally been there. And instead, Fred there again, there was just a little bit of an opportunity there. Could potentially have double touched his way inside and maybe curled one. And instead, we went down to penalties. Of course, we will see them here. And again, in terms of penalty shootouts we've seen in this tournament, we haven't seen anybody be really proficient with penalty shootouts. We've seen a lot of penalty saves, a lot of gamesmanship, a lot of pointing to where they're going, a lot of chips down the middle.
A lot of posts going by.
A lot of posts, a lot of putting the goal wide completely as well. But again, Saudi Arabia held their nerve.
We also didn't have much penalties going over the goal.
Yeah, we haven't. It's been something of... It was not something we anticipated going into Game 2. I think we still would have thought it would have been settled in regulation, but now we get to go to Game 3, and it's almost as though it should be almost as though these teams haven't played. It should be a case that that's how level this is. But as we know, of course, if these players have got a game in the locker already, mentally they will know, okay, I just need one. I just need one, and nobody will want to obviously lose here, folks. But please don't forget, loser of this game does go into the bottom bracket, and again they will play the loser of Mexico versus Argentina, which is coming up in a little while. Of course, we've got so many good games to go through today as we look to the stats, and again, talk us through those.
So basically, Turkey had more shots, 8 shots against 5. The interceptions were on the Saudi Arabia side. He was the one recapturing the ball. In terms of passes, Turkey made more passes, but I may say that this is a balanced sheet, a balanced spec sheet. So it's kind of shows why the match ended as it ended. And we are going to the last match. I want, before of that, say hello to everybody on the chat.
Yeah, there's so many people in the chat here.
Apologize for my accent and my bad English. I'm from Argentina, la tierra de los campeones, and I do the as most as I can, but I enjoy very much here being able to share these matches with my friend Wedza. He's from the UK. He's an amazing player. You of course know him. You've read what he has to say about this game. You've heard his podcast. And if you didn't do it yet, you must follow him in Twitch, of course.
He's too kind, folks. He's too kind, folks. He's too kind.
It's the truth. You have an eye for this game that few people have.
Well, I take that as a great compliment. Of course, we're getting a lot of compliments in the chat. There's a lot of the players who are down in the kind of viewing centre, as we would see at the complex here, that are in the Twitch chat watching this game already.
Thank you very much,
AW Cesar, who we saw represented Tunisia.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of good players that are in this tournament. Of course, we've still got...
Is he shouting in the chat?
He's lost his voice and he's in the chat. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's so much. It's so much. And of course, we've got the Viking 7 in the chat as well. Cobra 21 Jew is also in the chat as well. Kure 6. Shiva is still here. There's so many interested parties in watching this game.
Nice to see you
and
guys.
Of course,
there.
Thank you guys so much for supporting the stream.
Thanks for the support. If you are here at Bali and you wanna greet us, say hi. We will be the one dancing later on.
And of course, one of my countrymen from back home in England, the Verdimator, also in the chat as
well.
well.
I know
it's great to see like colourful characters in the chat, and
yes.
certainly to tell us who they're supporting and who they're sharing this with. It's Saudi Arabia versus Turkey. All of these are main events. We don't have a main event anymore. All of these games that we're going to see today are main events of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, if you are just waking up in Europe, or if if you're just grabbing your lunch in the Middle East, or if you're in Indonesia and you're just considering going for dinner, hold that thought. We have Game 3 right on your feet here as Bruno Fernandes plays it back to Anthony. It's again, as we see, it's Turkey in the white. They are going from right to left. Please don't adjust your screens as we see. Thank you very much. The production team here are very quick to double check those graphics for us. It is Saudi Arabia from left to right. It is Pedri.
Yes, they keep their teams. They haven't switched.
They haven't switched at all. They
Saudi
haven't switched the kit either.
Barcelona,
it's very easy to...
Manchester United in the hands of the Turkish player.
Indeed it is, as McNeil looks to rob Araujo. Araujo trying to just pressure, and he's advantage played by the referee. It's a free kick given, it's called back.
And also, if you are at Bali and you are swearing and you are casting a match, I'm talking to myself. Be here. Keep with us. Keep with us.
Absolutely, indeed. You will not want to take your eFootball eyes off of this screen, as we see. Potentially a short free kick to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes dispossessed by Frank Kessie. And we talk about physicality being so important, as we mentioned. If you are just joining us, or if you've been here for a while, you may be able to explain to others in the chat if they're not aware. These are uniform stat players, so everybody is relatively the same. Obviously, these guys will have little differences, as we see McNeil, of course, one of Manchester United youngsters, preferred to Cristiano Ronaldo, as we've said already. And you'll see these little subtle changes that will come in over the course of play. Of course, Marcos Alonso being employed instead of Jordi Alba. So you'll see little changes, and you might think, well, why are they picking these? These are the two of the very best players on the planet. They will look for every marginal gain they can think of as the ball gets luckily through. It's Ferran Torres off the post. What a chance that was for Saudi Arabia. It came by a little bit of luck.
Yeah, he tried. He did nice passes. He had one free player on the left. He went for the ball, and it was the post that said, not yet, my friend. We have still plenty of match to go. It's 0 for Saudi Arabia. It's 0 for Turkey. El que hace el gol gana. The one who makes the goal is the one who wins. And of course, the one who wins this match is the one advancing in the tournament.
Indeed, nice attempt at a double touch. It's taken away by Christensen. Here is Memphis Depay in towards Pedri. Pedri looking forward. He's been dispossessed by Fred, but he's got the ball back. Here's Frankie de Jong. If you look at the bottom of your screen, so many players flooding back from a Turkey perspective as the ball goes in towards the box. It's panicked clear. That's not a clear clearance. That's a panic clearance, but he does get the ball clear through Turkey, but they've surrendered it back to Saudi Arabia. Frankie de Jong in towards Ferran Torres. Pedri, de Jong, Ferran Torres just offside.
And once again, it's Saudi Arabia, the one attacking, the one making the calls, the one having the weight of the match on his back.
Indeed, indeed there is. And just glancing at the Twitch chat, there is such a groundswell of support for Saudi Arabia. It is almost universally Saudi Arabian in the Twitch chat in terms of support. And again, looking at how this game is going, it's about who's going to finish this opportunity, who is going to put their best foot forward, as Memphis Depay looks to do that. Lewandowski in towards Pedri. It's cleared away by Wan-Bissaka. You can see defensive line push from Go Iniesta. And again, it's Bruno Fernandes, and it's gone away for a throw-in. And as we'll see, both teams just slightly movements there, and it's a pixel here or there.
Yes.
It's a pixel here or there for the players. You can see just how close it is. As you can see here, Marcos Alonso, Frankie de Jong. It's Ferran Torres, Wan-Bissaka, Bruno Fernandes in towards Anthony. Anthony forward to McNeil, who is onside. He's got Christensen for support. It's a dummy, trying to just stop himself, maybe draw a penalty, maybe if he's trying there, and it's Anthony. It's cleared away for a goal kick.
It's like if the Turkish player hates attacking. I don't know why. It seems like it costs him so much to attack. He's more comfortable on the defense side or stealing the ball in the midfield. So he almost has no player on the attack.
He does, and that's the issue. If you play so kind of defensively minded, or if you have got that defensive fort, as you mentioned, it's very hard to break out of that fort and generate support going forward as De Gea plays the ball out wide to
but
Marcus
also
Rashford.
This kind of game is the one that brought him here. So
yes, exactly.
We cannot complain.
Exactly. So there must be a reason or a type, as we've seen it even against Brazil that we saw earlier in the competition. We have seen this game plan be expertly applied to this game, and it only takes one. It only takes one opportunity for Turkey to establish themselves in this game. Here's Anthony in towards McNeil, blocked off by Christensen. Pedri to Depay. Depay across to Frankie de Jong. It's cleared away by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's Bruno Fernandes. McNeil in towards Anthony. Back to McNeil. McNeil back to Anthony. Anthony, what can he do here? Trickery and quick feet from the Brazilian, but he's cleared away. Okay, we're starting to see other nations coming to the chat as well. D the Bug saying good luck from Iraq. So we have viewers that are looking forward to seeing Iraq later on today. Of course, we have plenty of games on offer. They'll be matching up against Spain in the almost the other half of the bracket. Yes. And of course, up next after this game is the hosts Indonesia against the European champions Serbia.
For everybody that was asking, when Indonesia?
You've got your chance here today.
Just in some minutes.
Just in some minutes. But just in some minutes, we still got this game. Here's Memphis Depay. Depay looking down the line. He's giving the ball away. He's gifted it to Fred. But as you mentioned, not a lot of players forward. But Turkey are generating that force going forward. And there is half-time.
So here we are at wonderful Indonesia in Bali. If you just tuned in, this match is the most important in this bracket, so you haven't missed much, because whoever wins this match is the one coming up on the tournament. We are at the final stages. Saudi Arabia against Turkey. Live from Bali, live from Indonesia, wonderful Indonesia. We are really in a hot day. in paradise. You know, I've been.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to play, let alone experience.
I must confess, I was at the beach today.
You were at the beach.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best way to prepare for the top 8.
Yeah, it was journalism at its best. I had to try on the beach to watch the matches, to study them, because I get inspired better at the beach.
Yeah, well, it certainly is a wonderful place to play football. It certainly is a place to, well, it's certainly a place to play e-football as well. And again, from a casting perspective, we have had nothing but the best here in terms of the experience that we've had. Here is Pedri. It's cleared away. Here's Marcus Rashford. Fred. It's Martial.
So, once again, the one attacking is Saudi Arabia, who plays with Barcelona. The one defending is Turkey, who plays with Manchester United. So
here's
here it
Pedri.
comes.
Here's De Jong back into the box looking for Pedri again. The ball is cleared only as far as the Dutchman. And Maguire will clear that away.
And Saudi Arabia is tireless. He tries and tries and tries and tries. So I will give him a award. It's about constance.
He's never going to stop trying, is Saudi Arabia. Goat Iniesta is tireless in his attack, but Mujahid is just as defensively powerful and will keep that laser focus, as you can see in the bottom left-hand of your screen. You can see Goat Iniesta just taking a couple of intakes of breath, just trying to just compose himself. You can see that there has been opportunities here and there. But, of course, if this does end 0-0, this will go to a penalty shootout, and that in itself, as we've said all before, is a bit of a lottery.
Well, so we may define who advances by a penalty shootout.
It may just come to that.
I hope it doesn't happen.
I hope it doesn't. We saw it yesterday, though. We saw it. Every game went to a game 3 yesterday, is what we saw. If we get that today, we are in for a very long day here.
Yes.
We're in for a very long day, but you will not miss a beat of the action. Here's Rafael Varane up towards Anthony, headed clear and headed down, and counter-attack could potentially be on here as a pass goes through to Robert Lewandowski. He sets himself as a neat little ball inside, and Rafael Varane will play it backwards and will clear it away. Here is Frank Kessie. Frankie de Jong in towards Pedri. Pedri in towards Ferran Torres. Rafael Varane will clear his lines once more. So again, it's that little bit more tentative, that little bit more cagey. I think neither team wants to make a mistake here. And again, it may just fall down to a mistake as Martial, wonderful sliding challenge. It's a fantastic block from Saudi Arabia. But again, it's not enough to clear the danger. Here is Bruno Fernandes. Anthony Martial cleared his lines and it is cleared away. Here's Frankie de Jong.
So this is what Turkey does. He defends, attacks. Defense, attacks. Defense, attacks.
It's how do you tire out the tireless? As we see, a little bit of an error here defensively. Anthony in on goal. Can he provide himself the finish? It's a brilliant block there, but it's far away as Bruno Fernandes. Fred, and it's cleared once more, but he's still in the box. Here's Martial in towards Anthony. Good save from the goalkeeper.
Whoa,
had to be made. It's a critical moment in the game. That save had to be made. It wasn't cleared effectively by Saudi Arabia. They have to make sure they clear those lines. Don't give Turkey an inch. Meanwhile, though, if you're Turkey, you're wanting to latch onto those moments of vulnerability.
Yeah, but he is clearly not someone that rushes his game.
Absolutely, and I can appreciate the fact of trying to play out from the back. Yes. I get that as a play style, folks, but as I was alluding to, talking around the venue a few kind of days ago, we've kind of almost fallen in love with almost that tiki-taka style of football. Sometimes it's safety first. Sometimes it is, as I would like to call it, air raid football. You get it as far away as humanly possible. You take out the little lady in the stand and you get it clear. You know, you apologise afterwards and then you play on. That's how you work here in e-football. But as we see these two making changes at will, you can see them looking at individual stats. And as we said before, uniform stats critical to how you are going to play here today. Jadon Sancho makes a rare appearance for Turkey. Again, kind of dipping into the substitutes bag. As we can see on the left-hand side, Gavi, Pablo Torre and Ansu Fati coming on for Saudi Arabia. Almost a playbook of substitutions that would be made.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
As you see, Christian Eriksen looking to deliver the corner. It's Ericsson in towards the box. The ball goes in. It's headed clear by Marcus Alonso, only as far away as Fred. Knocked down to Harry Maguire. Maguire back to Fred, in towards Martial. Martial's cleared away by Ansu Fati. It's a good defensive move from the winger, but he's given the ball away cheaply there. Marcus Rashford with the double touch. It's cleared away by Araujo.
Now I must say that now Turkey player is attacking.
It's going to get a bit more stretched. Now substitutes are on, as we say before, that kind of mythical golden period between 60 and 70 minutes where substitutes are very, very effective within eFootball. Now is the time to use them, as we see Gabi combining with Torre. You can see Memphis Depay, who was the star of the show in Game 2. Yes. Hasn't quite found his feet in Game 3, but he may still have an opportunity. It's Ferran Torres. Torres looking to turn, finds the ball to Gavi. Gavi chips the ball into the box, and it's headed away. And it's Rashford and it's Fred. Here's Ericsson. Ericsson forward to Sancho. Sancho looking forward once more. Again, the Englishman just blocked off there. There's Pablo Torre to Gavi, to Kesse. Kesse to Memphis Depay. Depay to Ansu Fati, back to Memphis Depay. Here's Gavi. Gavi to Depay. Back in towards Ferran Torres. Torres has a moment to strike and instead tries to play the pass. Sometimes it's those presented shots that you need to take from the outside of the box that may cause a bit of trouble. Instead of going for that extra pass, try and take a shot. Maybe try and move it around a little bit more. Christensen with a header, but it was adjudged to be offside.
So
sorry, no, it's not judged to be offside. There was a foul just in the build-up there, so it's back the other way for Turkey.
It's 0-0, nil-nil, as they say in England. Saudi Arabia with Barcelona. Turkey with Manchester United in the white shirts. The one who wins this match advances in the tournament.
Here we go. It's Ferran Torres. He's turned inside. He's made a shot, and there was a manual keeper in play, and it will go for a corner to Saudi Arabia.
So now he has returned to the match. He's trying to make that goal that will take him out of the penalty lottery.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, at this stage, unfairly, I would say that this game is going to penalties. We really want a winner in regulation, if possible, from either side here. We're a little bit selfish in terms of casters. Yes. We'd like one in regulation. Yes. We're a little bit selfish.
When time passes by, and especially in this community, you get a hold of the player, so you can feel for them, and you know that it's better to win or to lose during the match than on the penalty shootout.
Yeah, it can certainly be a cruel mistress, can a penalty shootout. Here is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he's led the ball out of play. And again, looking at the bottom, you're seeing, crucially, Saudi Arabia just one on defensive. They were originally on all-out defensive just before that ball went out of play. So you can see they're a little bit careful of trying not to concede at this point. As you can see, both teams now looking to be defensive. As there's a mistake there. It's Anthony Martial. Oh, it's wide.
Do you know, we spent the whole day saying that Turkey doesn't rush his game. Well, in this case, he rushed his last shot.
He certainly did. He had a lot more room to work with, did Anthony Martial.
But I think that the clock, look at the clock.
Yeah, and the clock has got 2 minutes stoppage time here as Torres tries to head it down. Here's Sancho, though. Martial, one last breath in this game. And it's Koundé who will clear it away. And we are going to penalty kicks, which some of us would say, especially on the broadcasting, would say slightly unfair way to deal with these two teams. But as we said, this is the level in terms of the shots and the stats. They're relatively even. These two teams are very evenly matched, also know each other's game plan incredibly well.
What I like about this is that the loser will have one more chance.
Here we go. First penalty inbound, and it is saved.
Saved by Turkey.
Saved to Turkey, and whether Turkey can now press home that advantage. It is Marcus Rashford. Rashford steps up to take the shot and scores. Advantage Turkey in the shootout. Memphis Depay to step up here. He's been so good for Saudi Arabia here today. Memphis Depay. What can he pull out of the lock here? Depay scores. Cool penalty from Goat Iniesta. Now what can Mucha do here? Can he get back into the lead?
Look how he looks to his side.
It does indeed. It's the old school hydro controller. Sancho saved by Saudi Arabia.
And now everything stays the same.
Everything
resets.
It's as though they haven't had a kick. It is back to even Steven here. Ansu Fati to take the kick. Scores! Oh no!
Save.
Off the legs. What a save that is from David De Gea. We have seen that once before in shootouts. A save by the legs. I was so certain it had gone down the middle. Completely disavowed that. Here's Martial. Oh, it's at the post.
Whoa.
Late drama here.
Whoa.
Nerves of steel are needed.
Whoa.
Pablo Torre steps up.
2 misses for each.
We're back to level once more. It's a save this time. And if Turkey can put this one in, this will put real pressure on the Saudi Arabia spot kick. Here's Christian Eriksen. This will put some real pressure down. It's Eriksen. It's saved!
And
wonderfully. Now, if Saudi Arabia score this, it puts Turkey's penalty under pressure. Such is the reversal of fortunes.
So this is like a penalty shootout, but sudden
Here we go. Gavi makes the score. Now all the pressure heaps onto Turkey.
Yeah. Turkey needs a goal to go to sudden death.
And it's the Brazilian.
Whoa.
Fred.
Look, our friend, the circle, the blue circle.
The blue circle. It's gamesmanship. Can Saudi Arabia pull off a save, or will Turkey find this goal? Turkey have missed the penalty, and Saudi Arabia are through to the next round.
Do you know what I must say? I think it's fair. So here is the coach, Mednasa, greeting the Turkish player. The Saudi Arabian player, Goat Iniesta, also greets him. I think that as this match was really even, all the series was really even, I think we had a small advantage in the game for Saudi Arabia, and he gets rewarded in the penalty shootout.
Absolutely. You saw the chance that fell by the wayside. That could have been a game decider, but it just ricochets off the post and goes the other way. And you have to say, I would say on the balance of play, you'd slightly say Saudi Arabia deserved that victory. And again, if you were ever in doubt for the quality of these two nations, folks, a full credit to Turkey. We know how good Mujahid is.
Yes.
We know how good the defensive style of play is. We know how good he can be on the counter-attack. We know how good he is within the e-football, esports kind of ecosphere. This, though, for me, is the birth of a new superstar, which is at the very start of the tournament was what we asked for. We asked for new stars to come out and show their level and show their play. And Saudi Arabia are now into a great position. And crucially, from a fatigue point of view and from an adrenaline point of view, they can go and rest today. Turkey have got to come back later, which means that, you know, Saudi Arabia can go and rest. They can go and rest up. Again, some wonderful saves. I genuinely thought that was a goal.
And Turkey must return today. One more match, but having already played 3.
They've already played 3, and then think of it this way. You've got either Mexico, who are Pan Am Open champions, or you've got Argentina and Rey Molina. That in itself could be... That's a long day at the office for them. That is a very long day at the office.
It would be a nice match.
Oh, very much so. I'm very much looking forward to it. But congratulations to Saudi Arabia. As we see the stats from the game here. Again, not a lot in terms of shots. We talked about there was that midfield battle. It kind of descended into that a little bit in terms of competing in midfield. You can see the amount of interceptions. You can see Saudi Arabia's challenges and tackles. And the amount of passes are almost identical there. But the key stat is at the top of your screen. It's a penalty shootout, and it's 2-1 for Saudi Arabia.
That's true, my friend. So we have our first player that comes by in this part of the tournament. He's the Saudi Arabia. I think he's also one of the youngest.
I think so, but there is something to be said about youthful players and experienced players, is that we've actually seen a pretty eclectic mix at this tournament of young and old. You don't have to be, you know, if you are watching at home and you're a youngster, pick up a controller, start playing. If you're old and you maybe used to play,
how old are you considered to be old?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information.
Okay, so I think it's from 85 plus.
But if you are older, or if you used to be a fan of the series and you're thinking, oh hey, actually I wouldn't mind trying to represent my country here, pick up a controller, because you're seeing both sides of that coin here. Because again, we look at Saudi Arabia in terms of one of the youngest. You look at Argentina. Rey Molina has been around for a long time.
He's an old timer.
So
and
these
also
players,
Roxa.
Yeah, and Roxa, he will not like you saying he's old. But we get the point in terms of experience. Yeah, he has experience. That's a great way to frame it. He won't check you on that later. But in terms of that, you have those abilities and those things to look for, and you have those aspirations. this is a perfect side of the game to look at. It's a perfect thing to kind of almost showcase the game.
Yes, and this is something that also is very interesting in the esports side. Yesterday I was at the pool, I must confess.
Of course.
And for real, I was happy. You know, I'm a big guy myself, and I was happy to see big guys with a shirt that says athlete.
Yeah.
And you know, they are athletes. They are digital esports athletes, but their way of living is the way of living of an athlete. They train, they come to competitions, they have a whole year planned with competition. And that was something that before esports, it was impossible for those of us who are not like sport people or gifted
absolutely.
with you know, bodies, perfect bodies.
Yeah,
and we can be athletes, we can represent our country. So it was really, really nice when I realized that.
And we talk about fatigue, and we talk about players, and we talk about the physical fatigue in terms of the conditions they're playing in and things like that. In terms of kind of from an athlete point of view, it's mental as well. The drain that it takes on the focus. But it sounds as though we may just have an interview with our winner.
Let's see.
Which would be fantastic to see. Brenda, take it away.
All yours, Brenda.
Thank you so much, casters. And once again, give it up to Saudi Arabia. Give some noise. Yeah. Congratulations, bro. It's a hard game, right? So, how does it feel when you become a winner? When you battle against the Turkey?
Thank you for this game. So hard game. Finish.
Okay, and also you're so happy, I believe. So, do you have any message for all of your supporters? Because when we see below there are so many people that support you. Okay, maybe you can give the message for your supporter. You can do it in your own language, no worries.
Saudi Arabia is here. Saudi Arabia is here.
Saudi Arabia is here. Okay, that's it. Really? Oh, okay, no worries. Okay, so once again, congratulations to you, bro. You can have a break for a while before you are going to start the match for tomorrow, I think, yeah? Okay, once again, congratulations to Saudi Arabia. And I believe you cannot wait to see the other match, right? In eFootball. So, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.